Game 2 of the season, and the Warriors were in Utah to take on a very good and very game Jazz squad. Jazz, one of the top teams in the Western Conference, and a chance to prove themselves a little bit with this nationally televised game so early in the year, trying to prove that they are ready to contend with the best in the West. This game felt like a playoff preview from start to finish, and all I can say is after watching 48 minutes of it, I would love to see these two teams match up in the Western Conference Finals or semifinals and play in a 7-game series. This one was fun and intense and just highly executed basketball from the opening tip until the final buzzer, especially at the final buzzer. It was an offensive explosion in the first half for both teams. Once again, predictably, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant led the charge as they both had dynamic and explosive offensive games. KD was the leading scorer for the Warriors as he put in 38 points. In the first half, it seemed like he couldn't miss, and in the second half, he just kept going. He also added 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and shot a very efficient 14 of 25 from the field. Curry was no slouch either, as he had a 31-point game on 13 of 24 shooting, including 5 of 9 from beyond the arc. To top it off, he had 8 assists and 4 rebounds. The third big scorer for the Warriors once again struggled. After a rough season opener, Klay Thompson had a slow second game as well. He only had 12 points and shot 4 of 9 from the field, but it bears noting that he played absolutely tremendous defense all night long against Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell looked uncomfortable both with the ball in his hands and working off ball, and Klay deserves most, if not all, of the credit for that. He was chasing him around all night, denying Mitchell the ball, keeping Mitchell in front of him, and making Mitchell have to work for everything. And as a result, while Mitchell got his 19 points, it took him a lot of shots to get there, and that was a huge key in the game for the Warriors. The defense wasn't there for the Warriors, though, other than Klay, at least in the first half. The Warriors gave up 81 points in the first half, which is a pretty stunning number, especially against a Utah team that's definitely more known for their defense than for their offense. Of those 81 points, 47 came in the second quarter. It was just an explosive, enormous second quarter for the Jazz, and as a result, they took a 12-point lead into the break. In the third quarter, the Warriors started to claw their way back, and they did it by clamping down on defense. The Jazz led this game by 16 points at one point in the third quarter, but the Warriors came roaring back as they started to put on the clamps, and they started to find some good shots of their own. After allowing 47 second quarter points and 81 first half points, the Warriors only allowed 42 points in the entire second half. That was the championship defense that we were looking for, and it came out for at least a stretch here in the second game of the season. But the star of the game was Jonas Jerebko, not who you would have expected. After being cut in the offseason by this same Utah Jazz team, Jerebko had himself a revenge game in his return to Salt Lake City. He came off the bench and played a huge role and was in the Warriors' late game rotations as he was on the floor in the final minutes as they mounted a comeback and overtook the Jazz. Jerebko finished with 10 points and 6 rebounds. But most importantly, he was on the court for the final play of the game with the Warriors down 1 point going into the final seconds, and he played the hero. Take a listen.
Pass to Durant. Off the dribble. Foul line jumper. Won't go. Jerebko tips it in. Jonas Jerebko tips it in.